perform the multiplication of any given number, I'm going to have the operator called asterisk. In the ribbon at the beginning, always I'm going to have the tab, and under tab I'm going to get the group. So what is tab? So here they appear across the top of the ribbon. Hello, hi, namaste. A warm welcome to my new session on spreadsheet. I'm Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Before going to start my today's session, let me to recall the things what we had discussed in my previous session. In my previous session, we learned how to sort the data in an Excel worksheet. That means how I can able to arrange or organize the data in the Excel worksheet. To arrange the data in some order, that may be ascending order or that may be descending order, can be done by using sort. So here sort is nothing but arranging the data, that is nothing but the information or numbers in some order. So it is ascending order or it is descending order. Then I can able to filter the data by specifying some criteria. Based on that, I can able to filter some portion of data that can be achieved with the help of filter. Then we learned what is graph and what is chart. So here chart is nothing but the pictorial representation of data as well as numbers. So here we are going to have different kinds of charts, that is nothing but line chart, or it may be column chart, bar chart or pie chart. So these are the certain topics we discussed in my previous session. But in my today's session, at the beginning, I'm going to deal with what is formatting text and how I can able to format the text. At the same time, we are going to learn what is ribbon and what are the commands comes inside the ribbon. Along with that, what are the Excel formulas I'm going to have, that is built-in formula or user-defined formula I can able to have. Along with that, what are the arithmetic operators I'm going to have along with the meaning. Then we are going to discuss once again how to create the chart. Instead of wasting much of time, directly moving on to the topic, that is formatting text. So what is formatting? Here formatting nothing but aligning or arranging the text which is present in the cell or which is present on the Excel sheet. So here I'm going to have certain formatting tab or certain formatting tools. In that I'm going to have bold button. That means if I want to highlight column heading or row heading, or if I want to highlight some of the text in the Excel worksheet, what I will do? I'm going to use the option bold. Then if I want to change the style of the data or number, then I'm going to have the option called italic. That means if I want to change the font style, that is appearance as well as number appearance, then I can able to use the button italic. And suppose if I want to select double underline format, that means if I want to underline any data or any column value, then I'm going to have the option underline. If I want to provide or if I want to put two double line, then I'm going to have the option called double underline. Along with that, I can able to fill the color. To fill the color, I'm going to have the palette, that is, I'm going to change the color by using fill color palette. Along with that, I can able to change the font color. So to change the font color, I'm going to have the option, that is font color button. Then here I can able to provide the commands for changing the font size. Think that suppose if you want to write the heading in some other size, that can be achieved by using font size or column, that is command for changing the font size. That means at the beginning you're going to have column heading and you want to make it larger or bigger, that can be happened with the help of font size. Suppose if I want to change the style of font, that can be achieved by using font style drop menu. In that, I'm going to get n number of standard font style and I can able to select any font style based on my requirement. And if I want to increase the font size, then I'm going to have the option, that is font size. There I can able to select the font size according to my wish. So this is the way you can able to format your text which is present in the worksheet or which is present in the cell. Moving further, I'm going to have ribbon. So what is ribbon? Here ribbons are nothing but the commands. So here commands are organized in the ribbon and here the commands are organized in the ribbon in 3 components. So what are the 3 components I'm going to have here? That is nothing but the tab, group and command. So what is tab? So here they appear across the top of the ribbon. Think that, so here you're going to have the ribbon. So here ribbon is nothing but the group of commands are placed together. So here all the commands are organized in 3 different components. At the beginning I'm going to have tab, then I'm going to have group, then I'm going to have commands. So the top position itself called tab. So what are the different kinds of tab I'm going to have there? That is file tab, insert tab, format tab, page layout tab, home tab, help tab, data tab. These are the example for tabs. Then I'm going to have the groups. So what is group here? They organized related commands. That means below that I'm going to have the group. That means at the beginning I'm going to have tab. Under tab I'm going to get the group. So what is group? Here I'm going to get the related command. That means if I selected home tab, under home tab I'm going to get the group of commands. Under that I'm going to have font command or font group. If I select font group, under that I'm going to have font style, font size, font appearance, font alignment, etc. So here that is group. They organize related commands. Each group name appears below the group on the ribbon. For example, group of command related to font or group of command related to alignment. So if I consider group, under group I'm going to have the collection of commands. So initially I'm going to have the group name. If I visit group name, under that I'm going to have the related commands. So here all the commands are organized according to the group. So here they organize related commands. Then I'm going to have commands. So what is command? Commands appear within each group as mentioned above. So, according to the group mentioned above, the commands are going to appear. For example, consider that I'm going to have home tab, and under home tab, I'm going to have group. So, here group is nothing but the organization of related commands. For example, if it is font, then here I'm going to have font style, font color, then font alignment, etc. So here font style, font size, font alignment, these are the nothing but the example for commands. Moving further, this is the example used to illustrate the ribbon. So here, as I told, I'm going to have three groups. At the beginning, I'm going to have the tab. Below that, I'm going to have the group. Okay, then I'm going to have the related commands. So here I'm going to have file tab, I'm going to have active tab, I'm going to have main ribbon tabs like page layout, formula, data, review, view, and developer macro format. These are the example for tab. In the ribbon, at the beginning, always I'm going to have the tab, and under tab, I'm going to get the group. So what is group? It is nothing but the related organized commands. That means, see here, under home, I'm going to have the font. So here font, clipboard, alignment, number, style, etc. These are the group, that is ribbon group shortcut. If I select the group called font, under font I'm going to have the font style, font size, along with that font alignment, etc. So these are the best example for ribbon. So ribbon includes three components, and inside the group I'm going to have the command. Say it is font size or font color or font format or font style. These are the example for commands. So here I'm going to have the ribbon text box, and this is the different kinds of tools in the ribbon. So this is the best example for ribbon. Moving further, ribbon also includes title bar. So this lies in the middle and at the top of the window. So whatever the title bar I'm going to have, that is lies middle and at the top of the window. The title bar shows the program and the sheet title. So dear student, just remember that always your title bar comes in the middle, that is middle or top of the window, and that gives the program name as well as worksheet title. Then I'm going to have the help command. So when I click help command, what I'm going to get? It gives the complete tutorial about the Excel sheet. That means how I can able to use Excel sheet, how I can able to operate on the Excel sheet. Everything we are going to get under help. So these are the very important topic from the examination point of view. Moving further, I'm going to have what are the Excel formulas. So here I'm going to have the Excel formula that helps to identify the relationship between values in the cell and your spreadsheet. Okay, so here I can able to use the formula in order to identify the values and the relationship between the cell. That is the reason I'm going to pass the value to my any mathematical function by specifying the cell address. So formula can automatically perform. That means you can able to use some of the formula that can able to perform the operations automatically. Then what are the formula I can able to hear? That is nothing but the summation, aggregation or average, percentage, date and time. Moving further, they having formulas as that automatically recalculate. That means once the formula is applied for certain cell, then that can be used to recalculate again and again. That means once I delete the values on that cell, but whatever the formula I applied for that, it will remain same, so that I can able to use the formula again and again. That is nothing but the recalculation. So here spreadsheet can also be used for graphing data points. That means suppose if I want to represent the data in the form of pictures or in the form of graphs or in the form of charts, that can be achieved by using formula. So these are the some of the very important points comes under formula. So then what are the different kinds of formula I'm going to have here? That is, I'm going to have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So these are the arithmetic operator. That means what are the arithmetic operations I can able to perform on the Excel sheet? That is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So these are the arithmetic operators are used to perform some basic mathematics. Moving further, I'm going to have the arithmetic operator meaning. So what are the arithmetic operators I'm going to have? That is plus, minus, asterisk, forward slash, percentage, then cap, that is nothing but the exponent. Suppose if I want to add any number to perform addition operation, I'm going to use the operator called plus. And to perform the subtraction of given number, here I'm going to have the operator called minus. Then to perform the multiplication of any given number, I'm going to have the operator called asterisk. And if I want to perform the division of any number, then that can be achieved with the help of forward slash. And if I want to find the percentage of given number or percentage of interest, that can be achieved with the help of percentage symbol. And at the end, I can able to find the power of given number. For that, I'm going to have the operator called cap. So here cap is mainly used at exponential. That means if I want to write 2 to the power 2, what I will do? I'm going to use the operator called exponent. So this is the certain example for arithmetic operators. Then how I can able to use some of the built-in functions in my Excel sheet. So at the beginning, I'm going to have built-in function called sum. So why I required sum here? To find the sum of any given number. Then what is the method I'm going to have? That is nothing but the sum. And what I'm going to pass here? I'm going to pass the values. So here values 1, values 2, values 3 is nothing but your cell address. So I'm going to pass the cell address. So what is cell address? Here once again, cell address is nothing but the row number as well as column name. So here if the number is present in the 8th cell and in the first column, then what is the cell value I'm going to have? That is nothing but the A1. And this is my starting range and this is my ending point. That means manually I'm going to specify that this is the starting point and where I want to stop. So this is the input for my function. So what is the function name here? That is nothing but the summation. So here sum 30:80. So it gives the output 110. That is 110. That means after writing sum of value 30:80 and when I press enter, I'm going to get the value 110. Similarly, I'm going to have division. That means how I can able to perform division here? That is nothing but equal. I'm going to specify the starting cell address bar. This is my ending cell address. Then to perform multiplication, once again equal my cell address. So this is my first cell address and this is my second cell address. And to count number of cells or number of items in your sheet, that is can be achieved by using count. So here I'm going to specify the starting point as well as ending point. That's nothing but starting address and where I want to stop, that is nothing but the ending address. Then I'm going to have average function. So what is average? That means whatever the value I have, I want to find the average of any given number or any given value that can be achieved with the help of average function. So here I'm going to have number 1, comma number 2, etc. That means I'm going to find the average of n number. So what is the input? I'm going to specify the starting value, that is nothing but the starting address, and I'm going to specify the ending value. So here ending value is nothing but the ending address. Then I'm going to have the topic called creating charts. How I can able to create the chart in the Excel sheet. So what is chart? Here chart is nothing but the pictorial or diagrammatic representation of data. So dear student, in my previous session we learned how we can able to create the chart. But once again I'm going to deal with how I can able to create the chart. So what is the first step to create the chart? What I want to have? I must have the data in my Excel sheet. That means if I want to create any kind of chart, then I must have data in my Excel sheet. Then what is the next step you are going to perform? That is, you must know which kind of chart you're going to use. So that is the first step. That means determine the type of chart that will display the data most effectively. That means now I have data. Now I'm going to determine which kind of chart I want to. That means I have the data, but I must know, right, which kind of chart I want to apply. That is determined here. Then I'm going to select the cell that contain the data. Now I'm going to select in which cell I want to apply the chart. What is my next step? Here I'm going to determine that in which cell I'm going to apply the graph. So these are the very important steps you must remember while creating the chart. So what's the first step? I must have the data. After having data, what I want to do? I want to select which kind of chart I want according to my data needs. Then What is my next step? Here I'm going to select the cell. That means in which cell I'm going to apply the chart. So these are the certain steps used to create the charts. Some of the examples for chart. So here I'm having bar chart. How I can able to represent bar chart and what are the things I required here. At the beginning, I must have the data. Now consider this row. Here I'm going to have the data, and what kind of data? It is nothing but the total marks. So here I'm going to have the total mark. After having data, what is my next step? I must decide which kind of flowchart I must have. So according to the data, I'm going to have bar chart. So here I'm going to have the bar chart, and each bar is going to represent some data, that is nothing but the row value. So here at the beginning I'm going to have first number, that is nothing but the 137, and to represent that number I'm going to have my first bar. So it is 137. And what is my next value? That is 135. To represent 135, I'm going to have the second bar. And to represent my third value, that is 121, and fourth value it is 127, and fifth value it is 134. And at the same time I can able to specify the title. So here I have specified chart title. Instead of that, I can able to specify this is the total mark of the student. So here I can able to give any name, and at the same time I can able to represent the marks. So here each pillar, that is nothing but the each bar is going to represent the value which is present in the total marks. So here total mark is nothing but the column name, and these are the numbers, or these are the item, or these are the value which is present in the total marks. So this is the way you can able to represent your data in the form of diagrams, or in the form of graphs, or in the form of chart. So it gives the complete meaning about the data, and it's going to give the comparison between each value, so that anyone can very easily understand what is the data, what kind of data, and what is the relationship. So here if I see this pillar, that is nothing but the bar, so I can able to understand that this is the highest marks I'm going to have in my Excel sheet. And if I consider this bar, I can very easily understand that this is the lowest number, or this is the lowest marks I'm going to have in my Excel sheet. So the best example for chart is bar chart. Moving further, I'm going to have another example, that is pie chart. So this is the circle, and the circle is divided into number of parts, that is nothing but the pie chart. So what is the requirement I'm going to have here? Once again, I must have the data. Along with data, I must have the chart. So here I have total marks. To represent total mark, what I have taken here? I have taken pie chart. So pie chart is also the another most commonly used chart. So here I'm going to have the highest marks, that is nothing but 137. Then if I consider second portion, that is 135, and if I consider this portion, it is 121, and if I consider this portion, it is 127, and if I consider this portion, it is 1 34. And by seeing the size, we can very easily understand that which portion is going to have the highest value. Now consider this portion with this portion. It's very easy to understand that this is the portion having highest value, and what value it is? That is nothing but the 137. If I consider this portion, it is used to represent lowest value. By using charts, you can able to represent any kind of data. So it gives the complete information about the data, and the user can very easily understand and analyze what it is. So here chart is nothing but the diagrammatic representation of the data. That means to represent the data, I'm going to follow some pictures or I'm going to follow some diagram. So this is the pictorial representation of data. So dear student, in my today's session, we started with what is formatting data and how I can able to format the data. At the same time, we studied what is ribbon and what are the different components comes inside the ribbon. That is nothing but what are the different components included in the ribbon. Then we discussed some of the arithmetic operations which can be carried on the worksheet. Along with that, we discussed how to create the chart and what are the steps involved to create the chart, and we discussed some of the example. So dear student, this is all about today's session. In my next session, I'm going to meet with some more information about the spreadsheet. Until then, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.